Yo, 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 yes, sir. We are back with another video, and in this video, we are going to be reviewing the classic action horror sci-fi film The Terminator, featuring none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, of course, the two main actors and actresses in the franchise. So, yeah, there's that. We're gonna go through the plot. We're gonna go through what people think of it. You guys know how my reviews normally go. We got The Terminator, baby. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this classic movie. This was long in the works. We watched the sequel, which maybe wasn't the best move, but it was the better movie out of the two. So I'm happy that I got that one out of the way to kind of introduce myself. It was a good way of introducing myself kind of to the series, but we are here with the first Terminator, the original. What if they did a remake series? I don't think they'll ever do that. They just keep making sequels, which is cool. You can't really remake Arnold Schwarzenegger's character. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And I really like the approach of this. Like, each Terminator movie has seemed to be kind of unique in its approach and kind of what direction it goes in. I mean, the end obviously ends the same every time, but the middle part is kind of the better parts of these movies. Two beings arrive in 1984 Los Angeles, having time traveled from 2029. One is a cybernetic assassin known as the Terminator, hunting a woman named Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, the Terminator, played by Arnold. The other is a human soldier named Kyle Reese, intent on stopping it. And you will see where the relationship between Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor go. Again, it's very interesting, and I've never really seen movies do this that much. Maybe, I don't know. They both steal guns and clothing. Kind of how Terminator 2 started out. I didn't expect really anything different. The way the Terminator movies start and the way they end are definitely kind of the same, but here the roles are switched. The Terminator is this monster, like hunting after Sarah Connor. And the next time around, it's the T-1000. Because they didn't get Sarah Connor the first time, they send a better force at her. And this time, the T-800, the Terminator, Arnold is there to protect her. So it's kind of crazy how they did the role reversal. I thought that was awesome. The Terminator systematically kills women bearing its target's name, whose addresses it finds in a telephone directory. So, there are 3 Sarah Connors, and on the news it's crazy because her friend kind of jokes with her, "Oh my God, you're dead, Sarah Connor. You've been killed." But she sees the pattern. She's like, "Oh my God, this guy's gonna hunt me down. I'm the last of the 3 Sarah Connors that are in town and in the phone book." So it tracks the last Sarah Connor, its actual target, to a nightclub, but Reese rescues her. He is kind of what the T-800 was in the second movie here. The pair steal a car and escape, with the Terminator pursuing them in a stolen police car. So it bears resemblance to the second film, because the antagonist and the protagonist and his Sarah Connor and the protagonist hero and the antagonist are kind of having this car chase, kind of like the second movie, and it happens around the same time in the film, which is cool. Well, Sarah Connor wasn't in the car in the second film. The second film was John Connor. They were trying to protect John in the second film. So yeah, maybe that's cool too. As they hide in a parking lot, Reese explains to Sarah that an artificially intelligent defense network known as Skynet, created by Cyberdyne Systems, will become self-aware in the near future and trigger a global nuclear war in order to exterminate the human species. So all the robots are kind of turned on mankind. Yeah. So he's kind of explaining everything that's going down, why he's here, what she's doing here, why he's protecting her, that type of thing. Sarah's future son, John, will rally the survivors and lead a successful resistance movement against Skynet and its army of machines. And we will kind of see that in the second film, but not all the way. You kind of got to watch the third and fourth films to get that whole thing of John kind of really leading these robots. But in the second film, John's like, "Oh, I got a guy guards protecting me. I'm in full support of the robots." On the verge of Resistance's victory, Skynet sent the Terminator back in time to kill Sarah before John is born, to forestall the Resistance's formation. So that's kind of the motive behind the Terminator. Yeah. The Terminator is an efficient and relentless killing machine with perfect voice mimicking ability and a powerful metal endoskeleton covered by living tissue that disguises it as a human. So yeah, we've kind of known this from the second movie, but again, just kind of explaining everything, because this is the original movie. Like, people had no idea what the Terminator's point was. They were probably in the theater like, what the hell? It's an Arnold movie, I'm in, but why is this guy here to kill her? Reese and Sarah are apprehended by police after another encounter with the Terminator. So he shows up in their cop car, like, on the scene. It's kind of crazy. They're, like, hiding in their car, and he, like, finds them. The Terminator attacks the police station, killing police officers and hunting for Sarah. So this guy will do anything to find his target. He is the Terminator, of course. Reese and Sarah escape, steal another car, and take refuge in a motel where they assemble pipe bombs and plan their next move. Now, this is kind of where their romantic relationship starts to unfurl a little bit. Yeah. So, like, the love story with the action movie. I mean, it doesn't happen that much anyways in movies that I've watched in my life, but it's definitely a cool touch, and I definitely like that they did this. Reese admits that he has adored Sarah since John gave him a photograph of her, and that he traveled through time not only to save her, but because he fell in love with her from the photograph. So he's very dedicated. Both the Terminator and Kyle Reese are kind of dedicated to the cause and of whatever they're doing, and it kind of sets up for a great ending to the film. Something that we kind of saw coming, of course, but the developments is really what mattered in this movie, I guess. Yeah. Reciprocating his feelings, Sarah kisses him, and they have sex, conceiving John. So Kyle Reese is the father to John Connor. It would have made a lot more sense had I watched this first film before the second, because I didn't really know how John Connor came about. You know, in the second film, Sarah Connor's a single mother that, like, has regrets about her family and stuff. But yeah, the Terminator locates Sarah by killing and impersonating her mother when Sarah, unaware of its voice mimicking ability, calls her and divulges her location. Realizing this, she and Reese escape in a pickup truck while it chases them on a motorcycle. Yeah, by the way, the Terminator has no pronouns. You kind of have to refer to it as it. And by the way, I've been watching other YouTube videos trying to get movie recommendations. The movies will never stop over here. I always have a good movie to watch on the channel, so. In the ensuing chase, Reese is wounded by gunfire while throwing pipe bombs at the Terminator. So Reese gets hit. The Terminator lays his first attack. Yeah. Please stop with the bots. Stop. It's annoying. Sarah knocks the Terminator off its motorcycle but loses control of the truck, which flips over. The Terminator, now bloodied and badly damaged, hijacks a tank truck and attempts to run down Sarah, but Reese slides a pipe bomb into the tanker's hose tube, causing an explosion that burns the flesh from the Terminator's endoskeleton. And this is where the iconic Fortnite skin, the T-800, is kind of born out of this scene when he is exposed. All of his robot arms are out. It's so cool. I mean, the special effects are pretty shady and pretty crap in this movie, but again, it's not even in the mid-80s. It's an early 80s action film. It's going to be pretty cliche. It's going to be pretty corny relative to this generation of action movies. The special effects are not going to be on par with, like, a Marvel movie or anything like that, but yeah. Maybe remake the original and it would look better, but probably not. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the only guy that can really play this role, and he's 75 years old, so I doubt that they're going to go back and do anything with it. It pursues them into a factory where Reese activates machinery to confuse it. He jams his final pipe bomb into its midsection, blowing it apart at the cost of his life as the explosion kills him and injures Sarah. So yeah, that's why John Connor never got to see his dad. Sarah tried to lie to him, and maybe it's cool that I watched the second one before the first one, because I went into this film like, what is the origin story? I was really curious about the origin story. I think it's a good way of uncovering some things, like Kyle Reese, the father of John Connor, died in an explosion from blowing up the T-800. Yeah. So yeah, Sarah is injured. She can barely move. It's still a functional torso. Grabs Sarah, but she breaks free and lures her into a hydraulic press, crushing and finally destroying it. So the T-800 is dead for now, but he's going to come back in the second film as a hero. So that's kind of interesting. Now that you look at it, it's kind of something that's unexpected, and I'm sorry about the bot in the comments if you see it. It's very fucking disgusting that someone would go on the internet, make an account like this, and I'm about to report you. Like, I'm serious. I'm about to report whoever's commenting on my videos. Fucking quit. So months later, Sarah, pregnant with John, traveled through Mexico recording audio tapes to pass on to him. So kind of to get him a rundown of her life. At a gas station, a boy takes an instant photograph of her and she buys it. It is the same photograph that John will one day give to Reese. So it's a very cool little touch for the director, for the story writer in the film. I really liked this. Everything just comes together. Everything is explained quite well in the ending. We don't really get left with anything crazy. You could have had a standalone series here, but obviously they saw the potential with Arnold being the action man to die, action actor to die over. So they decided, of course, we're gonna make a full film, even when he's in his 70s. We're gonna make a film. So yeah, I think it's good. The screenplay was based on other things. People said it copied them. I don't know. So contemporary critical response to the Terminator were mixed. A variety liked the film, blazing cinematic comic book full of virtuoso movie making, terrific momentum, solid performances, and a compelling story. Schwarzenegger is perfectly cast in a machine-like portrayal that requires only a few lines of dialogue. Time magazine said the film had plenty of tech-noir savvy to keep infidels and action fans satisfied. The Time said it was the 10 best movies of 1984, which isn't much, I guess. I guess there were a lot of movies that came out that year. Los Angeles Times said it's a crackling thriller full of all sorts of gory treats, loaded with fuel-injected chase scenes, clever special effects, and a sly humor. 3 stars out of 5 from the Milwaukee Journal. The most chilling science fiction thriller since Alien. Orange Coast magazine said the distinguishing virtue of the Terminator in its relentless tension. Right from the start, it's all action and violence with no time taken to set up the story. It's like a streamlined Dirty Harry movie. No exposition at all, just guns, guns, and more guns. Cinefantastique refer to the film that manages to be both derivative and original at the same time. Not since The Road Warrior has the genre exhibited so much exuberant carnage, and an example of science fiction horror at its best. Cameron's no-nonsense approach will make him a sought-after commodity. Monthly Film Bulletin liked the film's script, special effects, design, and Schwarzenegger's performance. Imagine magazine stated it was a gripping SF horror movie. Linda Hamilton is admirable as the woman in peril who discovers her own strength to survive, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is eerily wonderful as the unstoppable cyborg. The people didn't like the film's violence and storytelling quality. New York Times said the film was a B-movie with flair. Much of it has suspense and personality, and only the obligatory mayhem becomes dull. There's far too much of the latter in the form of car chases, messy shootouts, and Mr. Schwarzenegger slamming brutally into anything that gets in his way. Pittsburgh Press had a negative review. The film is just another of the films drenched in artsy ugliness like Streets of Fire and Blade Runner. How dare you compare this movie to those films? I love the Blade Runner, but 2 stars out of 5 for the Chicago Tribune anyway. At times, they said, at times it's horrifyingly violent and suspenseful. At others, it giggles at itself. It's supposed to have comedic undertones. This schizoid style actually helps, providing a little humor just when the sci-fi plot turns too sluggish or the dialogue too hokey. Newhouse News Service said the film is a lurid, violent, pretentious piece of claptrap. Gilbert Adair, the film is repellent to the last degree. Insidious Nazification. An appeal rooted in an unholy compound of fascism, fashion, and fascination. Why with the tongue twisters? I'm out. I gotta go. I know I didn't have much of my own thoughts, but I was kind of bouncing my ideas based off of people's reviews. Have a good rest of your day. That's what I thought of the movie. I think it's pretty good. I don't, I don't really get the critiques of the movie. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is like a chillingly good actor in this one, given that he has no emotion. And the same can be said about the T-1000. Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor having this love circle, and them having John because he went back in time and he admired her. We find out who John Connor's dad was after watching the second film, and probably maybe foolishly watching the second film. But that's going to do it. That's my review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch, GZTV Live on Twitch. No spaces, all lowercase, no numbers, no nothing. I should be streaming more on there. I think I got my Elgato figured out. So we should be able to have face cams on streams. I know I've been having some monotone streams with my video games. I'm just playing Fortnite and having my mic audio. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what your rage